and then TP me there.
7613.
So yeah,
29.
welcome to the stream, everyone. I'm not sure whether or not this is going to be the point where listening to the description, or if we're going to cut down the video for this to be the beginning of the actual video. But yeah, welcome.
Yeah,
We're going to be showing off the different
I
builds.
think I'm
This is
just
the
gonna
latest
cut it.
contest we had on the server. Uh, we released 1.8.7 like 6 months ago at this point.
Damn, it doesn't feel like that long ago. But yeah, one thing I'm just gonna straight up say, I'm not sure about anything else as far as chat goes in 1.8.8, but I am gonna make it so you could paste shit, because I'm sick of typing out these coordinates manually. Anyways, yeah,
But yeah, this update was majorly focused on the Nether. Granted, of course, there was a lot of other tweaks. We added stained glass and things like that. But one of the main things we actually changed gameplay-wise was the
Hey, I
Nether.
can
We had a
actually
bunch
see
of
your
new
skin this
blocks,
time.
dungeons, stuff like that. So this building contest, we decided to theme around the Nether.
Yeah.
Not specifically Nether, but more a hellish theme, which will be relevant later on because one of our contestants decided to be very clever with that
Yeah, and
theme idea.
this contest was supposed to spring up right when 1.8.7 came out, and then it just didn't. And then I decided, since I shadow dropped capes with 1.8.72, that I thought, well, why not have the contest now? And that cape you saw in news will finally be awarded to someone today.
Precisely. So,
All right,
this is the
let's
first
get.
build. This is the fire spider. It has started raining.
Whoops! I just typed time day instead.
Funny thing, I was about to type the exact same command as well. So, this is the build. So, just kind of our preliminary thoughts. Um, so, we're going to start off with the negatives for all of these, the things we kind of dislike about them, and little quirks and issues we have with them. Then we'll go into the positives, because I feel like it's better to leave all of these on a positive note.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because
for
I just feel like it hurts a little more if you do the negatives last, so that's why we
right,
decided to do them
because
first.
whatever you say last kind of is what sticks in your mind.
Yeah.
So the fire spider, it's a really cool looking build. The outside area is a bit nice. I can see that it doesn't seem to be quite finished on the top here. The lava's a little weird. The legs are a little asymmetrical near the back,
Yeah.
but overall it's interesting looking. I will note one thing: the front part looks a little like it kind of is slamming itself up against like the wall here. The head looks a little squashed. However, I can kind of see where it's going for, and from the front, it looks really nice. It's just
Yeah.
kind of when you look at it from the top that you start seeing those little things, which is not where you'd be
Yeah.
viewing it from the first place, anyways. So,
Because if you're in survival mode, you can't just fly up here and see that some of the top of his back is missing.
so yeah, get like from a ground view here, Road. Just walk around.
Yeah. All right.
Like as you can see from like the ground view, it looks a lot better when you're viewing it from the ground because it's just built kind of for that magnitude. So one of the getting more into the positives, coming with me to the inside. Now the inside area is very nice looking.
Yeah. By the way, are you watching? I was about to go inside. I don't need you to baby me. Are you by the way looking at my stream just to be sure that I'm looking at all the stuff you want me to look at?
Yes. So yeah, we love the insides, the walls, the stained glass, the use of all the different blocks we add in, especially the lava waterfall. It's definitely a very neat.
Yeah, I never see people make lava fountains. I only ever see them make boring water fountains. There's also redstone on the ground here I didn't mention at all before.
Now,
Yes, that's
my
supposed to
only
be blood.
complaint about this is that I do wish it was a little bigger. The whole thing seems to be focusing mostly on magnitude, and the only issue with that is that it doesn't feel really that
Yeah.
big.
The outside is pretty big, but it just doesn't feel that way for some reason, despite it clearly being big.
Also, if you look over to the other direction, there's the gigantic quote-unquote shep, I believe it's called,
Yeah, this
and
has
that
nothing to
kind
do
of has
with
a
the
much
entry.
bigger. That's completely, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to see something with a bit bigger scale to it, that's kind of more so. what I'm referencing. This
So
definitely is interesting. I will note one. I said I was going to list all the negative things at the beginning, but here I am saying one of them near the end. Um, I don't know what these spires are. They're a
they
little weird. They're
they
unlabeled.
I think they look kind of cool. Uh,
They
one thing
do.
I do know, I don't know what this is. I can't say if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if it's supposed to be a part of the contest entry. What is this? It's like a
It's just like a
massive
weird
netherrack with
mass.
dirt in the middle. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It is completely filled with dirt. Like I can dig in here and there's still dirt. It is not hollow at all. I don't know what it exists for. I'm not
Overall,
sure if
though,
it's some
it's a
sort of
very nice
religious
build.
structure.
We enjoy how it looks. It definitely has a nice sense of. It
Yeah.
just. Yeah, I can't really say much more about it. This is the first entry, of course. We've got uh,
By the way,
four
we
more
reached the
entries to
viewer
show off.
goal you wanted.
Nice. So
So,
yeah, a final summary. It's a cool spider.
very spidery. Spider, yes. Hot. Uh, yes. So,
This is built by our player Miguel 2. In case, just kind of to clarify that.
yes, we
So
should
special
probably say
thanks
who
to
they're,
Biravan for the material. Biravan, of course, being the person who's been helping us along with like the Russian translation and
uh,
a lot of work on
finding
the
a lot
wiki.
of bugs with the translation keys that we've been patching out. And of course, one of the drivers of the Shep theme and the builder of the giant Shep. That has nothing to do with
Which
the contest. I thought I'd just say that.
we might end up doing a building competition of that in the future.
Shep themed contest.
So
But
yeah, I feel
yeah,
like we might as well just go on to the next build.
I'll read. So let's see. The next one is by Fluffyman2271. I should have clarified Miguel's at the beginning, but now I'm clarifying this one at the beginning. I'm typing in the coordinates right now. Oh, this one's in the nether. Hold on. There we go. Wait. I'm somewhere. Not here. Hold on. I gotta type it in again. 38, 504. Okay, there we go. So, when you teleport, the coordinates given, you start off in this mushroom garden here. Start off on a block that hurts you. What are you trying to kill us, Fluffy Man? I'm gonna close this window, it's giving me screen glare. Ah, that's better. So, yeah, I'm gonna start off with some of the negatives I thought about. And then you can tell me what you didn't like, and then we can all band together and tell them all what's good about this build. You're not late, Biravan. You kind of missed the first build, but not really. You were still there for some of the ending, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just gonna go in order from over here. There's a bridge that's made of wood right under lava. Now, the lava fire can't reach the wood, especially because the bottom is covered, but it still looks a little weird seeing a bridge of a highly flammable material in a highly flammable environment. Uh, so there's a lot of ideas here, like this cool mushroom garden and this tower, but they don't really go together that well. They're all these different ideas that are cool on their own, and they're just kind of slapped together. Uh, so I'm not sure if we had anything else to discuss as far as negatives go.
Not really. Can I just say my piece? It's not really all that cohesive, but each individual idea is done alright. It
Yeah,
needs more, in my opinion. I feel like it would have benefited from another structure somewhere in here. But it's overall definitely not bad at all. The tower's cute. Just kind of to show it off, it's a
yeah,
gassed watchtower.
yeah. I like
Um,
this thing. It looks cool.
the
There's a
whole inside
fern in the
structure is
back of
just
it for some reason.
cool looking. One thing that's a little weird though is as a watchtower, there's no actual way to get up to the top to like the watchtower part,
Yeah,
which we thought was an interesting design choice.
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, I think I'm not really sure where you would put the watchtower entrance though, because the top floor is pretty small, but
Right.
it's still a watchtower that cannot be used without towering up to it, so yeah.
The mushroom garden is cool. I love the choice of blocks. The cobblestone by itself would seem to be boring. However, the use of the sideways slabs and stairs and
To really
all of that
detail it.
helps give it like a very rough feeling, which kind of integrates well into the nether wall.
Yeah, and to top it all off, I think scorched sand was a good choice for the what to grow the mushrooms on. And speaking of sideways slabs, look at how detailed this is. Mojang, add sideways slabs to your fucking game.
I mean, seriously, it's been a decade and they still haven't added sideways slabs. I mean,
Because it
what's
hinders creativity for some reason. I don't know.
how does? But yet they have normal slabs and they keep shoving in new custom blocks and stuff. Yet they don't add basic things people have been wanting and modding into the
Uh,
game for years. I'll say one final thing. I feel as though the wood could have worked. This will be a recurring kind of thing. I feel like people underutilize some of the stained wood. I feel like in this specific case, the stained red planks would have worked rather well for the structure. Granted, of course, there are issues of the stained planks where there's no slab variant for them. However, I still feel as though they have a much more hellish theme to them. That combined with maybe like the black stained planks could definitely add to the feeling of a lot of these builds.
yeah.
However, I noticed none of them really utilize these blocks.
And hopefully in the future, if we do add slabs and stairs for stained planks, that perhaps people will be more inclined to get creative with them because they are really nice looking blocks. Uh, they do have a unique color palette, uh, and I think in the future, if we add some slabs and stairs for them, that they could be more utilized. But that is off topic, and I'm probably going to crop out that last bit of dialogue between Mojang and Stained Planks. Next build would be Freaks,
Freak.
right?
Yes.
Alright. TP pose 10204 429. I'm gonna reload because beta is being beta and not loading any of the render passes nearby. Okay, there we go. So I'm here if you want to teleport. Alright. There's not much to say as far as negatives, but the negatives are pretty big. Uh despite this build being really cool, there's like a palace almost of some sort. There's not really much else as far as decoration, it's just the cool designs that are attached directly to the front of the build. The
The biggest
inside is,
issue is when you look inside.
yeah,
It's unfurnished. We both commented that it feels like there's a for sale sign up in the front of it.
yeah,
It's
because it gives me the same feeling I'd go into a new house when I'm gonna rent a new house. And
Now, I will note there is a sign on the front saying that the interior is kind of bare, but uh, the creator of this freak did not really, they just didn't really have the time to finish it, which is down to their involvement because we did extend the deadline several times. So,
yeah, they did admit they did get a little lazy with it. And they submitted it being aware that it was empty, so we're going to judge that part. Now, with that, the couple negatives out of the way, I just want to say this bridge design is really damn cool.
yeah, I love the bridge. Um, one thing you should note is if you look at the bridge, you'll see there's a ton of obsidian. Now, I'd like to remind everyone, this is beta. Now, we did in 1.8.7 patch up obsidian to be a little faster to mine. You can mine it at around, was it 6 seconds with titanium pickaxe, which is the
Yeah,
fastest pick in the game.
and
Uh,
because in before it doesn't matter the speed of your pickaxe, but in 1.8.7 it is a little faster, but 6 seconds is still a long time for one block. And he said he used a steel pickaxe, so that's around a couple more seconds. And I did
wasn't it around
calculate
like it was like 25 minutes or something,
with a
like of just
titanium pickaxe.
continuous mining. And he said he used a they said they used a steel pickaxe to mine the obsidian, and
Which means
which
that's
means
way
the
more
number
time.
amount of time.
But also we dropped some viewers. We're down to 2 now. Yeah. And yeah, this bridge design is really cool. It's very menacing. It somehow there's almost no like actual nether blocks used, but this is very nethery and intimidating regardless of that. And that's exactly what the theme is about, so that's a good thing. And on the inside, there are still some good things I'd like to point out. Like, even though it's not furnished, the base of the interior is still done, and I do like what was done inside here. There's some nether plants. The design on the ledges here is kind of cool. And yeah. What else do you have to say?
Not much. The outside's amazing. The inside's unfurnished. If it was done, this would have won the competition, hands down.
Yeah.
It's really good walking around outside. Just it's really just a nice structure. It's just the only issue is it's unfinished.
Yeah.
One thing, Road, I want to note is take a look at the DMs. I sent you a message real quick, unrelated to the stream. Just wanted you to note that. But
All
yeah,
right.
overall, the structure is very nice.
All right. Next build, which is Metallica's. 9 and 5, 7.
Now, I will say Metallica has to have one of my favorite builds of the competition. Um, it just, yeah, once Road TPs to it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did. But yeah, so I'm here now, and
So the first thing I'd like to know about this place is that the first thing you feel when you step in here is just the magnitude of it. Now, like I said, of the spider, uh, the spider is physically pretty big, but just feels small. This is the opposite. This place is really relatively pretty
we
small.
should.
However, just with how it's built, it feels
Yeah.
big. Like everywhere you look, it feels like there's somewhere else to go. You can explore. There's different various little caverns around there to go up.
Aren't we doing downsides first? I mean, I can
Yes, we
understand why
are.
you'd go off on this, because this is a great build. I like this build.
Honestly, I didn't have any downsides listed for this one. The only downside I really had was that I disagreed with the use. Like I said earlier on for the bridge for Fluffy Man's, I disagree with the usage of the normal wooden planks. I feel like honestly here the one that would have worked a lot better would have been the brown stained planks, as those kind of give more like the dark oak look to the game. I just feel like that looks a lot. Yeah, just look behind you, Road.
Yeah. And also
I feel
red would have worked pretty well too. Because the thing is, most of these wood blocks are full blocks, so they would have worked just fine
I
using
feel like the
stained plank.
here it looks alright. The one place where this is really kind of an issue is the staircase. Now
Yeah,
the
this
staircase is nice. I love the staircase.
it's
The
just
only
too
issue is that
overworldy.
it feels like something you just build in a normal structure. The only thing that makes it netherish are like the nether block windowsills, but even then those just look like red window sills. There's nothing really hellish about this room. I feel like it needed something to give it that feeling. Maybe redstone torches, maybe just to give it a bit more of a gloomy feeling. The darker wood would have helped. Maybe a different color palette choice. I feel like just this area is a little too bright looking. One other thing I'll note, if you'll follow where I am, this corner of the building,
Huh?
the,
Oh,
the
there you
corner of the
are.
building here, um, I have one issue with it. So you know how like when you have a plastic bottle or something, and you kind of crush in one of the
Hold on.
sides.
Like that? Yeah, I was
This
drinking a water bottle, so that was a perfect time to bring that up. And I just finished it.
I will kind of say it looks like someone smacked this corner of the building with a hammer. It doesn't Like if you look at it from the outside more so, it looks even more so like that. However, that's one thing I do want to transition to the positives.
Yeah,
So
there
yeah, it just look a little crushed in there.
is
However, the outside
barely
of the
anything wrong
building,
with this build, and there are a bunch of pigmen that spawned in there while we went outside.
yeah,
Um,
as you'll notice, the things we're saying are really nitpicky. This structure's amazing. I love everything about it. It's just it's got the scale is the thing that impresses me the most. Like if you
yeah,
look up to the cross in the
it
ceiling, it just
feels
looks so far up and like cathedral like.
so big. It's so much bigger than it actually is.
The hellish
I
theme
mean,
is
it feels
really
so much
present
bigger than it
throughout,
actually is, and that's a
albeit
good thing.
it wavers a little bit. I will note, Freak had a much better job with the hellish theme. I feel like their structure was much more in kind of it had that feeling of like being distorted almost, which I loved. However, just the fact that it wasn't finished. This one has less of that, but it's more gothic, I feel.
Yeah,
So it hits it from an alternate angle.
and another thing about the cross on the ceiling I think I love is I brought up during our notes. I'm not sure if we took note of it, but I find it kind of ironic in a good way that there's a cross on the ceiling in a Nether build, in a build that's
Uh,
literally in hell.
which once again adds kind of that gothic feeling, I feel, if I'm using that word correctly, which I'm probably not, but
I I don't. I think it's fine. Either way, we're saying it's a good thing, so in the end, it's a good thing. Doesn't matter if we're
I don't
using
really
words
feel like we have anything
incorrectly.
else to note here. It's a very nice build. We love a lot of things about it. It's got some minor issues, but overall, it's a very good build.
Oh yeah, we forgot to say this build could probably have used something else besides sandstone for a throne, but that's about
Ah,
it.
yeah, the throne,
Yeah,
sandstone. Why is the throne sandstone? it doesn't fit with anything else here.
yeah. But I'm just gonna walk around this build just to give you an idea of how big it feels. When I was judging this, it felt like I was exploring it. I just was running around a lot, and yeah, there's a lot of space to cover here. And just look at how much time it takes for me to just wander around this build. Go away. Look at how much time it takes for me to just wander around. The build, it's a big build that feels even bigger. And yeah, that's is that about it for this build?
That's all I can think of. At this point, I feel like we should take a look at the final entry, Professor Apples.
Okay. Whoops, I almost smacked my headset off of my head by accident. 120.
So, earlier on in the stream, I was talking about how this one's very clever. So, the specific theme we had was not a nether type theme, but instead a,
I'm
a
here.
hellish structure. Um, so, one thing you'll note about this place, if you fly out of that room. Now, firstly, if you recognize that room, that's the same room from like early in-dev versions.
But with cobwebs and some other blocks added in.
Right, a little bit of extra things. Don't mind that. But if you look outside,
Oh, I'm
please get out
sorry.
of the
I
building.
I was trying to get out, but I kept accidentally hitting other keys.
This is the in-dev hell theme. Like, I wouldn't have even remotely thought to do that, but I,
It's a very
it's
literal
clever.
take
It's the
on
most
hell.
literal take you could have done of our theme, and I love that about this place. Now, the one thing I'll note for like my issue with it, scale. Um, I feel like it's too small. I
Yeah, that's
definitely would have loved to have more of the area around been terraformed, especially because there were several extensions on the deadline that could have made time to expand the island more. However, the conversion is complete on this island, and I will note it does feel very well put together.
yeah. This tree right here is burned down. That doesn't mean anything, but I figured I'd just bring it up in case anybody noticed that. But Yeah, in fact, might add to the health theme a bit. So I feel like a lot of simple expansions could have been done with just a few more trees and perhaps more expanding to the nether terrain nearby. Because the nether terrain is very rough, abrasive, and similar to uh, ba terrain gen from classic versions all the way up to alpha. So I feel like,
I think you mean
uh,
up to mid and inf-dev.
wait, oh, whatever. But yeah, basically, you get what I mean. The
Yeah,
very old terrain generation was very rough, and it could have been used with very little modification to expand this and make it a bit bigger, but that's not too big of an issue. I'm not, to
that
me.
does kind of note one thing about this. Nether generation, by its very nature, is similar to Indev generation, meaning the amount of work that went into this island, hypothetically, to making it look correct. I have no idea. I don't know what the original terrain looked like, so I have no way of really verifying that claim. And this
I can
does
tell
look
he modified it a lot because these edges are definitely not natural, but they look exactly like in-dev edges.
overall. There's not really anything we're saying there. That was just rambling. This looks good. One thing I will note is that there's like a couple secrets around here. So if you follow me, Road,
Where did you go?
back.
Where? I'm just gonna TP. There you go. I
Yeah. Now, if this pigment would get out of the way. So this little tunnel, once again, very much generated exactly like it would be in Classic. Now, if you start going down here, you'll see like little redstone torches. Now, one thing I love about this is that Professor Apple did not just include one, like, old classic that you wouldn't think of Hell theme, he included two. This is the Nether
Oops, we
reactor.
accidentally left a hole in the floor. Yeah, that was us. We were looking at some redstone below. Don't mind that. I just patched it up.
So yeah, one thing I love this. It's like the if you any of you ever played like the old Pocket Edition versions, there used to be something called like Nether Reactor, because before they had like dimension switching built into the game, you would instead kind of activate this reactor and it generate the structure and stuff.
It was like a huge netherrack monolith with nether stuff inside of it that you could collect.
And this is that. Granted, of course, it's non-functional, of course, but
Yeah, there is no actual nether reactor, so instead he opted to use some of the new nether blocks and build it in a dungeon-esque room instead. But it's kind of inverted. Instead of the stripes being made of bricks, they're made of obsidian, and the outside is made of the bricks instead. I think it's a pretty nice room to put this structure in. It looks good with it.
now if you click the button on here, you'll hear that it actually makes a little tune.
Not really sure what that tune is supposed to be, but I think it's cute. And it's also a lot of pistons.
Yeah, it's a very loud
Yeah,
activation
the
mechanism.
pistons are louder than the song it's supposed to be playing.
We'll definitely be tweaking Redstone in the future to make stuff like that a little more intuitive. My hope
Yeah.
is eventually we can get like modern Redstone working,
I feel
dynamics
like
working
some of the
correctly inside
modern
beta.
redstone components are also pretty good. I like the comparator a lot.
I feel like they'll rarely ever be used, and we're not playing any command blocks really, but I feel like the modern Redstone mechanics are something that'd be good to have, especially the server optimizations, because Redstone on servers is a nightmare.
Yeah,
But
but
this is
let's
besides
get
the
back.
point.
Yeah, I was about to say,
This
let's
thing
get
is
back on
clever. It takes the Hell theme and then designing the whole in-depth Hell Island is something I wouldn't have thought of to do with the contest. The Nether reactor in the bottom room is really clever as well. The references work really well, and overall, their widest build just appeals to us so much. Even though the scale of it is rather small compared to the other builds, I just love everything about this. It would have. So yeah. Um, do you feel like we're ready to go through our scores?
Yeah, so the scores are in an out of 10 system, but it's not like a solid rating. The out of 10 doesn't exactly portray how we feel. Rather, the out of 10 is used more as a is used both as a how we feel and a scoring system. So something that places low might have just placed low because of where it scored rather than how we feel about it. And we liked all of the builds, so the lower scoring ones do not are not bad in any way. I liked everything here.
So let's go in order of lowest to highest, if you agree with that approach.
Yes. So where are you? Did you DP back to the first one? Whoa, you went far out.
I'm still here. What are you doing?
What? It like teleported me somewhere random when I tried to go to you. That was weird.
Probably the TP command isn't engineered to work correctly of creative players.
Yeah.
Any, okay, so uh, the first the first person will go through from lowest to highest. So the person in last place for us was Fluffy Man. Now this is just because of the fact that it wasn't cohesive at all. Everything felt kind of slapped in. The score we gave it was 5 out of 10. Now we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contestants, so we didn't want to give it anyone the same score, so that's why we kind of gave it that.
Yeah.
Overall, it feels. I like the effort that went into it. It just feels like it needed a bit more. Still, 5 out of 10 is not a bad score by any means.
Yeah.
Following that was Miguel's build. Now, Miguel, we gave a 6 out of 10. It was a cool spider. I liked the speed, but once again, there was nothing really special about it that made it stand out compared to the next three.
It
Uh,
still had some cool elements though, so the fire spider did get a 6 out of 10. Right? Was that
uh,
the correct
yeah,
score?
yes.
Okay.
Next one is Freaks. Now, as I said before, Freak would have won the competition had they furnished the building properly. Um, it feels unfinished. That's the biggest issue. We gave it a 7 out of 10. Had it been completed, it would have probably gotten a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it just feels like it's half done. Because when I go inside, it's just empty. I'm it almost won, but unfortunately that mistake cost a couple places. And then now for the final top two.
So, in second place is this one, the Indev Island.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm
as I
just
said
here because
before,
this was the last one we reviewed, and I'm not
right.
teleporting around.
It's clever. It takes the hell theme and it does something interesting with it. It does something we wouldn't have thought of. It produces this thing. It's I am not articulating this point very well, but
This
it
thing.
it overall it's clever, and that's why I got an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
We feel as though it just does its job very well. And finally, in first place, Metallica. Met.
So,
So that was the Gothic structure we were just reviewing. So as I was saying before, everything about it's amazing. I loved every aspect of it pretty
yeah.
much.
And
There were small little quirks inside of it that felt a little off, but
yeah,
overall
that's
the entire
all they
place
are.
just felt impressive. There was nothing I could point to that really took away from the structure that much.
And I did notice that when I did say some viewers dropped earlier when we were reviewing Freak's build, is that they probably thought, oh, Freak's gonna win. They're just gonna win again, and there's nothing to see here. Well, are you surprised, viewers? Freak didn't win this time. They'll probably win the next one. But yeah, Freak. But yeah, a contest that somebody else actually managed to pull through ahead of Freak. And yeah, so Metallica is the winner of this contest. So what was the pot again? I forgot.
Now you see we put this chart together a while ago, so we don't quite remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, score to the power of 4 divided by 10,000 times the pot. I mean, I feel like there's a simpler way to distribute hash, but since this is what is there, at the time of this contest, I'll just use this formula and probably simplify it in the oh, hello. It just kind of
So
appeared behind me.
10 out of 10 is 1, to the power of 4 is 1, divided by 10,000 is 0.0001, and the pot is $200, which means they are rewarded a grand total of, are we going to have to, $200.
Alright, yeah. The pot is I'm pretty sure the pot is always what the winner gets. Regardless of the formula, like they always just get $200. So, are you
I
going to
didn't do
be
that math
distributing
right.
the pot, or do you want me to do it?
I'll handle that after the stream. We did that math wrong. We're just doing it 7. Like,
Metallica on?
yeah, we'll figure out the math afterward. But yeah, this is the end of the stream. I hope everyone enjoyed.
And
yeah,
the prizes will be distributed right after we end it. See ya. Thanks to y'all for tuning in. And yes, I can prove to you that we can judge a contest not 4 months after it ends. And we will be doing it this way in the future too. Huzzah, contests are actually competent now. But yeah, jokes aside.